Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Lil Man. You know the deal. So let's get into this. It's gonna be a little quick video. I did a little breakdown of the AUD JPY trade and the EUR USD trade. So AJ and EU took 2 trades on those this week, and the rest is just gonna be some setups that I'm waiting for this week or this next week. So let's get into the quote. The quote that I came up with, or that I found on the internet, was: the key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles. So basically what it means is you can't let negative things or things that impact you in a bad way affect what you're doing, right? So if you're having a bad day, you try to go to work and your tire's flat, and then you fix your tire and you try to go back to work and then you get pulled over and you're just having a bad day, right? You can't just let those two things affect your whole week and just have a bad day or week, right? You gotta just brush that off and just keep going, right? Even though that's not what this is talking about, that was just a little, you know what I'm saying? But the key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles. So all you gotta do is just have your goals in mind, and anything else, just think that it's temporary, right? Like, I ain't gonna say that, but anyways, I just know I'm gonna be able to get to where I wanna be if I just continue to do things that I do, and if I just be consistent about things that I do, right? So anything that's bad or anything that I just feel like is throwing me off, that I don't even really worry about it. I just know what I have in mind, know what I want to get to, and where I want to go, so I just keep going, you know? But that's just a quote, and that's just what that meant to me. So without further ado, let's get into the vid. And it's a good vid, so make sure you ain't sleepy and tired. Wake up. I'm talking to you, boy. Wake up. So let's get into it, man. So ADJPY, let's get into it. So if we're looking on the daily, we can see that price is moving up, right? Price is making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? But let's drop down to the lower time frame. So now let's look at market structure. So like I just said, price is making higher highs, higher lows. But let's see what's happening. So we'll just call this a low. This is a high, higher low, higher high, equal higher lows, right? So we're still in an uptrend, and then price broke this resistance right here that it failed to break once. So it came up here, dropped, came up here, dropped, came up here, dropped. So this is a resistance line right here, right? So now we finally broke that right here. So now we're making a new higher high, because this high is higher than the previous high, so it's a higher high. So we have a double bottom, higher high, higher low, because this low is still higher than the previous low. So now we're still in a bullish market, and then a higher high, because this high broke the previous high. So now we're on a higher low, and then we're looking to make a higher high if we're going to stay in a bias market, in a buy bias market. So let's see what happens. All right, so as you can tell now, market structure is invalid for buys anymore now, because as I said, it was a double bottom, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then for us to be able to keep taking buys, we would have to break this high to make a new higher high, and then come back for a higher low, and then, you know, keep going up for buys. But now, since price broke this higher low, it's showing that bears in the market, right? Because then just come up here and just make a new higher high, or hit here, make an equal higher low, and then come up. It broke this higher low. So now we're like, okay, so now we're not forming bullish market structure anymore. Market structure is starting to get invalid for buys. So at this point in time, because I had trend lines in here and stuff, and I'll put my technicals on there later, but we're just looking at market structure right now. So at this point in time, when this big bearish candle came and broke the recent higher low, I was looking for sales now, because we broke out of the trend line, and now we just made a new lower low. So now what I'm waiting for is a lower high, and then to be able to get into a trade somewhere over here, and then look to make a lower low. I look to get in a sell to continue the lower low. So that's just market structure, right? So let's put things on the chart. Take this off. All right. So as I said, price is here right now. So let's look what happens. All right, so now this is where things are starting to get interesting for me too. because as we can see, we're making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, just basically in an ascending channel right now. And basically the market's just correcting. So now we're going to look to get into where we're going to see where we're going to sell at. So right now we can see that this is a resistance line, right? Because price came up. Let me go down to lower time frame. So as you can see, price came up here and fell. Came up here, fell. Came up here, fell. So now we can see if price comes up here again, what do we think it's going to do? Is it just going to go up, or are we thinking it's going to sell? Because every time I came here, it fell. So now I'm thinking that it's going to come here and sell again. So that was the first thing, this resistance line. The second was this trend line. So we have a touch right here, one touch, two touch. Now we're waiting for the third touch, right? As well as this key level as resistance, because price is under it. So now if we come up here and hit as resistance, then we can look to get in the sell and then target the lows or target whatever, right? So let's see what price does. Alright, price is still respecting this trend line. We're still going up. So we wouldn't take sales yet because we're still going up. Everything would have to agree with us. The daily would have to agree with us. The 6 hour, the 4 hour, everything must turn like bearish for us to get into this trade. So price is coming up here and now it's rejecting. And then price broke out of this. So look, free game right here. So now basically we're just waiting for a third touch, and that's what I was waiting for. So we got that third touch, but then price came and broke out of this trend line, and then buyers were thinking that they were just going to push this market all the way up because we broke out of this trend line. And once you break out of a trend line, everybody thinks that price is going to keep going up, right? No. We still have this lower high that price has to break out of for this market structure to disagree with us, right? Because we have a high right here, we have a low. We have a lower high, lower low. And now this will be an equal lower high, right? Because we're still agreeing with market structure because price still hasn't broke this higher low. So high, low, higher low, lower low, equal higher low because we're still not breaking it. And then right here is when I was thinking that, or right here is when I was looking to get into the trade. So anyways, let's drop down to the lower time frame. Let's see what's going on. So as you can see, price came, hit the level, and then started reacting. And it also had a fib, which a Fibonacci retracement is basically where you see how far price retraces, and if you can find a good level to get in at, then basically a Fibonacci retracement is just finding retracements and finding places that you can get into the market. So this is the high, this is swing high, swing low. So now we're just coming up to find a place that market's going to retrace at, right? Because the market just don't keep pushing down, keep pushing down, keep pushing down, right? It retraces, it moves and flows, it moves in waves. So we're going down, go up, going down, go up, going down, go up. But now this big impulse move right here, we have to come up and correct and then see where we're gonna react at. And for this instance, it was the 38.2 on the fib. So as you can see, this 38.2, I'm just gonna highlight this zone. You can see that we're coming up to test it again, right? We tested it once. Well, this ain't really the fib, but anyways, this is this resistance line. We tested it once, fell. Tested it twice, fell. 3 times, fell. So 4 times coming up here to touch this resistance. So that's one confluence. Second confluence is 38.2 on the fib. So we can see price dropped. So we're going to put our fib from this high to this low, and then see where price comes up to retraces. So it came up, hit the 38.2 and fell. And now it came up here again, hit 38.2. And this will be the third touch, so this is what I was looking for. So once price came up and did that, I'm going to drop down to lower time frame. I wanted to get into the trade up here, but I was just waiting for a break of this to be able to get into the trade with more confidence. Because I could have gotten here, right here, had a stop loss right above these wicks right here, and then had the same targets like right here, right? But I wanted to be more conservative on this trade, so I was waiting for a break. So now we finally broke this, right? So I'm pretty sure I got into the trade right around, actually. So 84, 84.896 is where I got into the trade, right? 84.896. So somewhere right around here, right? Like I said. So I got into the trade, and let's just see what happens. Actually, before I do that, this was when my stop loss was. My trade was looking like this. I had it right over the wick just in case price comes, because price breaks this resistance right here and this wick, then we will no longer be looking for shorts anymore, right? Because it's breaking highs. So now we're looking for buys to continue. But it didn't break that. So we just put our stop loss right here, right above it, and then I had targets down here. But I also had places where I wanted to take partials, right? Because I don't expect price to just drop way down here, right? And then I'll just close out the position full 2% winner, whatever, 3% winner. No, this is why you got to take partials, because sometimes price will just hit a level and then bounce up, and then you'll get some profit and then you'll get stopped out at break even. But at least you took profits instead of having your position all the way down here, floating in huge profits, and then coming up here to just stop you out or just break you out break even, and then you lost the whole trade, even though you made all this gain. So I took profit. So I'll tell you where I took profit. So my first take profit was right here, and I took 0.25%. And then when price got here, I took 50%. So I took 1/4 here, 50 here, and I was going to close the whole position out once it hits my final target. So let's just see what price did once I got in the trade. And actually, let me put my stop loss in it too. So as we can see, price dropped a lot, right? So first target, smack that. Second target, smack that. And then let's see what happened. It's a nice reacting there, creating the support. So now I just made a support, and this is where I took profits, right? And this is what I was talking about. So if I would have just kept letting the trade run and not take profits right here at these levels, then price would have just came, and now price is right here right now. And I'm break even. So if price comes up and market opens back up and hits here, then I'll be stopped out of the trade. But I still took profit, so this is still a winner, even though I'm going to be stopped out break even probably. Unless it just continues down from right here and just hits this, and I'll close the whole thing. But that was just AJ. That was just the first trade I took this week, and I just wanted to show you guys that. But to summarize it again, I took this trade because there was a resistance line right here. As you can tell, 1, 2, 3 times price came up here and fell. So the fourth time it came up here, I was waiting for it to break out of this ascending trend line, right? So once it broke out of that, then I was for sure that bears were going to be in the market now because we broke out of the trend line. And it was a 1 touch, 2 touch, 3rd touch. Price broke out. Buyers were thinking that they're going to be in the market, taking it way up here, but no. This is still the lower high that we have to break. We didn't break that, so price fell, and then came back up to test the trend line, and it fell. So, anyways, price is right here right now, but this is just why I took this trade. Off the 3rd trend line touch, off the 38.2 retracement, and off this key level. So, that's just AJ. Let's get on to EU. So now this is EU. Let's look at it. So we're going to take everything off the chart, right? Now we're going to look at market structure. So we're just going to start here. This is low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, equal higher lows, because price didn't, well, it did break that. So actually, never mind. So we have lower, our higher lows right here. So let me just mark this off. Just don't look at anything else on the chart. But anyways, we have a low, a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So now we're still in an uptrend, right? Because price is still making higher lows, higher highs. But now once we broke out of this previous higher low, price broke it with this wick right here, right? Sellers probably got into this market and probably closed right back up. And then buyers took it up here. But we broke out of that. And now we broke this recent higher low and this recent higher low, even though we broke it before. So now that we broke that, we can identify that bears in the market, just like the last trade, right? All it is market structure, and then just adding your technicals on. Market structure is the foundation of Forex, right? So if you don't know market structure, go learn that. So anyways, price broke out of these recent higher lows, right? So now we're showing that bears in the market. Along with that, we have this double top right here. So price came up, hit, fell, came up, hit, and then fell, and then broke this higher low. So now we're definitely looking for sales, right? Because market structure is agreeing with us, everything's agreeing with us. So let's take it back here. So now that we're looking for sales, now we're going to look to get into trade. So let me just show you where I have my trend line. So I just connected this point right here to this point right here. Probably going to 2 hours to see that better. Damn it. No. Alright, so I connected this point and this point. So now I'm waiting for is a third touch, right? To go down. So let's see what price does. So now we got that third touch, right? And look at the wick. We're getting hella rejection right here, along with this psychological level in the market, which is 21,800. So we're getting a good reaction right here on the zone. So 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, along with this key level, right? Because price bounce here fell. So resistance, support, 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 breakthrough, now resistance. So let's also draw on a fib, because I had a fib on here. So we're going to go from this swing low to this swing high to see where price retraces back to. And as we can tell, price came back to the 50 on the fib and rejected it nicely. So after I seen that, that's when I got into this trade. So I got in, I put my stop loss right above the 38.2, right above this, so I can give my trade room to breathe just in case price wants to play around at the level, play around, probably come hit this again, even though I probably don't think it's going to do all that. But anyways, just to give us some breathing room, just in case price plays around and then goes down. So we're not going to get stopped out if we had a stop loss right here and it gets stopped off and then price come down. So that's where my level is. And this is what the trade looks like. So the reasons I got into it, like I said, because obviously market structure, price invalidated the buys, and then price broke the recent higher lows. So now we're showing bears in the market. Now we're coming up to test this trend line, the third touch, as well as this good key level in the market, as well as the fib, 50 points, the 50 on the fib. So my first targets are going to be here for this trade, and then my second target, final target, is going to be here. So this is what this trade is going to look like. And either it's going to do this, I'm going to take out partials here and then close the full position here, or it's going to stop me out, or it's going to do this, take partials and then stop me out, or whatever. Nobody knows it's going to happen, right? But we're just going to manage it to see what happens. So that was my EU trade. So let's look at these next pairs, right? These are just setups I'm waiting for this week. So this is low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So price is going up right now, right? Without looking at this. So price is moving up, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then probably higher high, and then come back to make a higher low. So that's just market structure. And then price broke out of this higher low right here, right? So now, like the same two trades that I just talked about, because market structure is the foundation of Forex. Now we're going to be looking for sales now because price broke out of this. It's no longer going up. It didn't come from these higher lows and then come up here to make a new higher high. It broke out of this higher low, not this one, but basically it broke out of the recent higher low. So now we're forming bearish market structure because price is making a high, low, lower high, lower low. And now we're going to pull back for a lower high and then to continue for a lower low, right? So, and this might look confusing, so let me take off a couple of levels. So, this is what I was waiting for this week. So, as I said, prices made a high, then a low, lower high, lower low, and I'm waiting for a lower high for a pullback. So, I thought that price is going to come back here for these recent lows right here, test them, and then fall, which it did, as you can tell right here. Price came and test these lows, right? Because support broken out, old support turns no resistance. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people got stopped out right here, because after these fat rejections, people probably got in a sell right here and just a target down here or whatever. And then price did this. So I was thinking of getting this trade too right here, and I was low key gonna get in right here. I just didn't. So I would have probably got stopped out in this trade too because it looked good. But anyways, this is what happened. So people seen this rejection, and then price came down here looking like it was gonna sell, and then price just stopped all them out because everybody probably had their stop loss. So they probably got in right here, probably had their stop loss right above this recent wick, and then targets down here or whatever. And then price came and just stopped them out, right? So that's what happened with this trade. That's not really a lot to talk about. It's just the setup I was waiting for this week off of just market structure basically, and then these lows I was waiting for it to come retest it, which it still might do that this week. We could still come up either these higher lows and get a good sell right here, because that's where market structure still is, because these are the previous higher lows, right? High, low, lower high. I mean lower high is my fault. Lower high, lower low. So we could come up anywhere in between this range right here, and then still come down to make a lower low, right? Because these are our lower highs. So unless price breaks above these lower highs and then comes down here, tests it, and goes up, whatever. Just if price breaks above this, we're no longer looking at sells. We're looking at buys, because sells is being valid because market structure wouldn't be agreeing with us. So that's just that trade, and that's what I was looking at. So gold, let's go over gold real quick. So as you can tell, price is making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and then price double bottomed out right here. So we had price hit again, and then we started forming bullish structure, right? So it hit double bottom and then made a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And now it was coming down to make a higher low, right? Or higher low is just the next market structure. So let's add in our technicals. We'll take off these indicators. So let me just take price back right here. And I've been waiting for this for like 2 weeks. And I'll show you, I didn't even get into it. But anyways, I still probably have a chance to get into it. But let me just show you what this trade is looking like. So you see how we have a trend line right here. So we have one touch, two touches, and then this would be the third touch right here, right? But price didn't come up, hit that, and fall. Instead, price broke out of this downtrend, or this trend line, not downtrend, but price broke out of this trend line and then came up. So now, even though we already have this bullet market structure, now we're definitely showing that buyers on market, because price didn't come down here, hit this trend line, and fall. It broke through it, right? So now we're showing buyers in the market. So now I was waiting for, because we're in a higher high right now, right? So we wouldn't buy this, because if you know market structure, you wouldn't buy in a higher high, because you trying to buy in a higher high would make no sense, right? Because that's like you trying to buy right here. You still have to exhaust, right? So this is a push phase, exhaustion, push phase, exhaustion, push phase, exhaustion. Price always has to exhaust, right? It can't just keep going up forever. So once we make a high, higher low, higher high, we would wait for a higher low, and then this is where we would get in. So we wouldn't get in here, we would get in here, and then go up. So anyways, we're at a higher high right now, so I was waiting for price to pull back into this level. And why into this level? Because if we look back, we can see that price is reacting here nicely, right? This big old fat wick right into this level, pushed up. Hit support, pushed up, support, pushed up, support, pushed up. Finally broke it, came to as resistance, came down a little bit, but then broke up. Hit that support, broke up. So basically, this is a good support. This is a good key level, right? So I was just waiting for price to come back down, hit it, and then to target these highs. So let's see what price did. Oh, well, I guess that was quick as hell. So, anyways, let's drop down to a large time frame. Let's drop down to 6 hours. So, and as well as I was waiting for a third touch of this trend line, right? Or, well, another touch, because this is the first touch, second touch, third touch, and I was just thinking that was going to be a fourth touch here and probably some good reaction and price can go up. But price didn't even come down and hit for a fourth touch. Instead, price came and hit my psychological level, right, which was 1860. And then once it tapped that, so let's see, this is the key level I was talking about on the daily. If you look back, all this reaction, see, support, 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 resistance. So this is a good key level. So price came back, retested that, and right when it hit that, as well as this trend line, right? Remember trend line I said it broke out of? So it hit once here, twice here, and now it came back, and then we hit that trend line as well. So we broke out of that, showing buyers in the market. Price came down, hit this trend line, as well as almost this trend line, but didn't. But anyways, it hit our support level, and then once it hit that, price just started flying up, right? So this is where price is right now, and I missed a move because I didn't get in this trade because I seen when price made this rejection, but I wanted another rejection because I don't just get in off one rejection like this, even though that could be cool, but I wait for a couple rejection wicks, like 1, 2, or 3, and then get in once I see price start moving up in my direction. So price didn't do that, and instead it just came, hit it, rejected, and then started pushing up. So I missed this trade. This is what this trade would look like if I got into it. Stop loss would be probably right here under this wick, just in case price came down here. If it broke that, then I wouldn't be looking for buys anymore. So my stop loss would be right here, targets right here, first targets, and then yeah, probably just be a chase. So a good 4 to 1. So if you're risking $100, you'll probably make $400 if you hit the final targets. But that's what gold look like. But I missed a trade, and this week what I'm looking for on gold is if we can pull back some more. Even though we already took off, we can get a little retracement probably into this level again, hit this trend line. Then I'm gonna look to take another buy. But as for right now, I missed this trade. There ain't no reason to try to get into the trade right now. Price is already pushed up. Having a stop loss under this wick and then target here, because that wouldn't even be a 1-on-1, right? You wouldn't be. This would just be a dumb trade if you took it. So if you miss a trade, you miss a trade. Oh well, you'll get the next one. So that was a gold one. GJ, let's go over this real quick. And I'm not going to go over the next one, so I'm just going to go over this, and it's going to be the last one because this video is going to be long. But let's take everything off the chart. Let's look at market structure. So, as we can tell in this, what is price doing? Going up or down? As you can tell, it's going up. So, we're just going to start here. So, this is a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So, this is a bullish market structure, so I'm looking to take buys, right? And all right, so let me add on my technicals. All right, so let me take this off. So I can explain it. So what I'm looking for, because I missed this trade right here. I didn't miss it. I seen it, but like I just said in the gold trade, I don't look for one rejection. I look for a couple, and it just hit it and it flew. So I didn't get in this trade. But now this could be another trade that I'm looking for. Because as we can tell, price is making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, right? So we're in a bullish structure first. Second, price came, hit this level, it fell. So old resistance turns new what? New support. So old resistance turns new support. Support went up. So now I'm waiting for price to come down here and hit old resistance and hit this support again and then go up. But this is what I'm looking for. So this is one touch, two touch, and this would be the third touch. But price didn't hit it on the third touch, right? It barely just missed it, and I put mine wick to wick. So this is, I just like being accurate. So I wouldn't count this as a touch because it didn't touch the trend line. So this would be the third touch, didn't hit it. So this would be the third touch now. The price just broke through. So now that it broke through, we're still in a bullish market structure, right? Because this is a higher high, higher low, higher high, because we broke this previous higher high with this candle. We broke it. So this high is higher than the previous high. So it's a higher high. Now we're coming back for a higher low. Like I just said, we wouldn't buy right here because it's a higher high. So we'll wait for a higher low. And now we got it. And then we'll get into it. But I can get into this because it didn't reject. But anyways, I just want to show you guys this. So this is the first touch of this trend line. First touch, second touch, and as you can see, it didn't hit like nowhere back here. So first touch, second touch, we didn't get a third touch. Well, we did get a third touch, but we didn't reject, right? Price just broke through. So now, once price breaks through, sellers are probably thinking that price is going to keep going down, right? Because we broke out of this trend line. Once we break out of the trend line, market's just going to crash or whatever, right? But no, we still have to look at market structure. So as we can identify, this is a higher low, higher high, higher low, and then we're just in this range right here, right? So either we can break above and come back test, make a new higher high, higher low, higher high, or we can break this recent previous higher low, right? And once we break that, then this whole bias is invalid. Now we would be looking for sales because market is shifting, right? And we would probably put a trend line right here, probably wait for a third touch, whatever. But no, this is not what happened. So this is our previous higher low, like I said. So unless price breaks this higher low, we're still in a buyer's market, right? Even though it broke this trend line, so now sellers are thinking that price is going to crash, whatever. No, we still have to break this higher low for market structure to shift. So this week, I'm going to wait for even the slightest amount of rejection. I'm probably just going to get into this trade, to be honest, right when it hits this level. I'm just going to put a buy limit right here. So right when it hits this, I'll be in a trade, and then the stop loss is going to be right under this wick. So probably somewhere right here, just so I have the trade can just have a little bit more room to breathe, right? But I'm going to get in here off the higher low, probably to create an equal higher low. So let's look at it. Low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We have a trend line here. Price broke out of the trend line, but we still have this higher low. So price could come hit, and then we can get in the buy right here and have an even better risk to reward than we would have right here. So price come down, create equal higher low, equal higher low, and then price will get in here, have the stop loss right under here, entry here, and then Fibonacci retracement. Oh, I didn't talk about that. So I put my fib from this swing low to this swing high, and then this would be the 50, right? This is just the golden range because it's in between the 50 and 618. So any rejection I get in here, along with this higher low, I'm just gonna look to get into this sell. To get into this buy. So that's basically that trade. If you understand market structure, then you understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, then go back to my lessons that I had in the previous videos so you can learn about it, so you can understand what I'm saying. But that's the trade that I'm looking for, and that's just what I'm waiting for on GJ. So those are just the trades and those are the setups. And this is how my week is going. So I'll update you guys probably in the next video what happened or whatever. So appreciate you guys for watching.